Hey, greetings traders. It is Monday, March 1st, and I wanted to come with you with 3 particular topics and briefly, to make this most efficient, first and foremost, Groupon. Groupon has been in my list of explosive growth potential plays since August 25th. It was 32 at the time. It just really chopped around on a weekly, you can see here, just really what I would call kind of a left for dead, highly short interest type of play. At some point it was going to explode. Well, today was earnings and it did. So I happened to have this on my radar for a while, and in particular back in the summer I said, okay, well, it's got to get and stay above a pretty key level, and it hadn't, basically. It came up to 40, it came back down, but it held, and it still had this really strong kind of bottoming pattern. So I kept it on the radar, and this explosive growth potential list that I have made for clients has been extremely profitable. So you can see when I created this back in August that the returns have been outsized, and some of them have already hit extremely higher levels and come back down. But the point is, I'm keeping this list active because there are plays like Groupon that had not yet broken out. Literally, of the 35 items, only 5 are red, and 2 of them are red as of today. So long story short, I am looking at Groupon as this nice basing pattern that finally broke above 40. That was the trigger to go long as it stayed above 40. And then today at the open in my live trading room, I did mention Groupon will be a good chase. So in other words, if you already positioned to trend long and kind of suffering through the summer months, or got into it as a swing trade at this 40 level, then awesome. Today it took off and literally exploded 40%, went right up to my 127.5 fib retracement level, which was 57.5. Actually, that's the 200, and I have a theme that basically price targets are, on a weekly. Once they get volume, and this did, they can go through the 100 week, which is his magenta line, and the next price target in time would be the 200 week. It basically didn't take any time at all. It was one day wonder. So wouldn't be surprised if this does some consolidation, but you can see what happened in option land. If you chased it this morning at the open when I recommended, it was a very big winner. It had already been in my trend trading play list for many months. So basically these are plays that we've gone in and out of. I've mentioned MSTR on prior YouTube video. From 140, it doubled again, basically hit almost 1400 and has come back in. 806 I had also mentioned in a follow-up YouTube video was a price target, it overshot, and now it's digesting. Long story short, explosive growth is part of my trend trading stock picks that I do for clients. It has been very successful, whether last summer or current updated, plays, if you will. I'm very much into thematic or rotational themes, and this happens to be an individual stock pick, and it did extremely well. All right, so Groupon is one play, whether trend, swing, or chase time frame. The other thing I wanted to show you was my risk indicators. So risk indicators is, I'm coming to it, risk range alert. So risk range alert is something that I have populated as an automated trading signal. They run every 30 minutes during the trading day, okay? This is totally not discretionary stock picking because I happen to like Groupon's fundamentals or short interest. This has to do with completely algorithmic trading, okay? So you can see this trend line, and this is what I want to focus on right now because this has to do with a chase time frame. You can see the markets today were incredibly bullish. I mean, StockTwits just did up a little review. Every major index finished green. The Nasdaq and Russell both ran more than 3%, while the SPY had its best day since June. All but 40 stocks in the S&P closed higher. Here's the heat map of today's auction, action. All right, so now you take that in hindsight and you wonder to yourself, okay, well, I was sitting in front of the computer. I would have liked to have played that long. Well, I have a risk indicator for that, which is to say risk range alert goes every 30 minutes and it is across all the indices. And look at this bullish action. So last week, we had a pullback. I called the pullback the Friday before, and then the bounce Tuesday morning for 2 days, and then the 39.30 SPX price target as a reshort. Long story short, I can do that with my macro, my intermarket, my technical, my quant, the whole gamut. But I also use risk indicators. And this, as you can see today, we had from across the board, I'm just going to go with the most popular. We were obviously coming up off the bottom, again, 30-minute time frame. At 10 o'clock this morning, you could see that it was already about ready to cross this horizontal line of basically demarcation between bearish, neutral, and bullish. And off to the races we went. We had a little blip here, but whatever. It still was bullish. Nasdaq from the Friday at 1 o'clock. So this would have been a great way to position for the gap up this morning. Same thing with the diamonds, right? You had a little bit blip here on the close on Friday, but then confirmation this morning at 10. I mean, isn't this gorgeous, this smoothing indicator? If you are a day trader, how can you trade without this? Seriously, without the confidence of this? I don't know. Anyway, Russell, same thing. We were going from, you can see it, nice and smooth. You can look at the price action, of course, of the Russell, or you can also use this indicator to show you've got some support for your bullish or bearish thesis, how you're trading on the intraday. But here you go. We had a complete confirmation of bullish at 12:30, but you can see where it went from obviously bearish to neutral, and it was intonating higher. Same thing with financials. That actually was again on Friday, and today we had a strong impulse higher. So anyway, this is just risk range alert indicator on the VigTech platform. Right now is in beta. This is the beta test that I've been pronouncing and announcing on Twitter and Stock Twists and any other social media I happen to have. I don't even know. But basically, this is a risk range alert. And as you can see from today, everything went green across all the indices. That's how strong it was under the surface for breadth, volume, the whole thing. The rate of change, it was obviously a big day. And this would have helped you if you were positioning long as a chase or what have you, trying to, figure out, where things were going to lay. This is nothing to do with my live trading room where I'm talking about bounces into support and the macro risk events coming up like Powell or, China meetings or OPEC. All of that stuff is anticipating and positioning for much bigger themes, but this is still very helpful. All right, so that is VigTech. I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel, and I want to also call your attention to 3 announcements. In other words, events that I'm having this week that I think might be very helpful for you to kind of learn a little bit more, because that's what I'm trying to do is educate. I analyze, I educate, I trade. So last week I had a conversation with Jonathan of VigTech, and that was about rates. And that was a very good call that we both made in regards to higher rate regime and what it meant for the dollar to, guess what, Tuesday, 4 o'clock. We're going to talk about the dollar. On Thursday, I had a SPAC attack, but the point is we're going to be doing this macro to micro power hour on Tuesday to talk about the dollar, and I invite you to come. I will have this in the description down below. But to sign up, we are looking at a dollar that's firming up and looks like it will, in fact, start to base and move higher. We're going to talk about the impact on equities. I also have this guest captain interview page where you will see on Thursday, I have Juliette Declercq. So anyone who knows Juliette knows that she is an absolute macro maven, macro wonk, macro guru. She sells her research for $10,000 a month to institutions. Okay, so we're not talking small time. She's been on Real Vision. She's been on Macro Voices. the woman actually caught my attention a few years ago. She was one of the very, very few women who were on Real Vision, and she was stellar. Her just kind of like very methodical and humble approach to macro analysis. She was the strongest, in my opinion, of the group that were being showcased, all of which were men. She was like the sole woman in this particular event, and I thought, oh my gosh, she's amazing. So I've been watching her grow in her business and her publicity, and I am very honored to have her on my Women in Trading and Finance series, which is going to be this Thursday. So I definitely want to invite you to kind of, I guess, pay attention to this Tuesday, Thursday lineup that I have. Macro to Micro Power Hour with Jonathan. We're going to talk about the dollar on Tuesday. Guest captain interview, Women in Trading and Finance, featuring Juliette. And in the middle, I actually have a women's trading conference event that I'm doing from 3 to 5. 3 to 4 is live trading, 4 to 5 is a presentation, and I will have those links as well in description. But suffice it to say that a lot is going on, and it might be educational and very profitable if you join me.